Wilhelm gave us the plan for your best life. And your best life would be the one where you are fulfilling your life purpose, where you're discovering why you're on the earth and you're living that dream, and you are producing something in your life that causes you to feel fulfilled, and you know that you've made a contribution, and you know that you're doing it now because the world wanted you to evolve, which is why you might have been feeling a little uncomfortable or afraid. And now you'll ask, who is Wilhelm? And that was the same question that I had in 1989 when I sat down and decided I needed help, and I started asking questions. I said, please give me some help. And I started doing automatic writing simply because I heard about it. But I did make a connection. And so what happened, that I understand now, is that I made a connection to universal consciousness that was giving me the order of the universe, that was explaining it to me as I was living it. Because as I was living it, I was going through every difficult, challenging experience that any human could have. And I'm thinking, why is this happening? And you've had times like that. You thought, I'm being punished, something horrible is happening to me. It never was. For any of us. We were just remembering who we are. We were remembering why we were alive and what we were meant to do now. But we happen to choose to be living during a time where it's really chaotic, it seems. But that chaos is meant to cause us to awaken. Because what happens is we've been afraid for a long time. We've doubted ourselves. We've been afraid of who we could become. And then we can see in our ancestry that we let other people take over and run our lives. This is the time we were meant to change that. And so there was an orchestrated generational change that's happening now. And I know that that occurred because Wilhelm gave us every part of that, told us exactly how it was going to happen, and then said that if we became aligned with who we were, then we would heal. And then they used me as a demonstration, literally, as the example and demonstration, because that's been my entire life. And I'll be 75 on November 2nd, and all of those things that I was struggling with are gone because of this work. And that's what I want to tell you. It's in your consciousness. And it's difficult at this time because you're being urged to embrace yourself. You're being urged to love yourself a lot more and to do what you came into the world to do. And everyone that you're seeing that's demonstrating something different than that is causing you to remember who you are. That's why we needed those other people to look at, that we needed contrast, and that the chaos was purposeful, because we wouldn't change unless we became really uncomfortable. If we if we don't change, we keep repeating the same patterns, and they will show up in our lives. And I've done that, so I do know. But mine was because my generational pattern was like, how could this have happened? I couldn't have charged enough money for this because I spent my entire life downloading this. I spent 36 years writing it down. How could I charge someone for this? That was a generational pattern as well, and we all have those. Because I don't deserve this. I don't deserve to have this, even though I've created something wonderful and I felt it within myself and I feel that I'm supposed to do something. I know you felt that. We're supposed to, because that's how we move to the next level. That's how we get to the fifth dimension, or that next dimension of thinking, and that's what Wilhelm has given us. But what I did is I put together a document because we're in a portal right now, energetic one. It's not accidental, the things that we're experiencing in our lives, but also seeing in the world. And many of the things are stuff we didn't do. And that's what's happening for me. Stuff I put away and tried to ignore. And now it's here. And I'm like, oh, wow, I have to do it now? But the wonderful thing that you discover is that once you decide to do it and you jump over your fear, everything changes. And I know that one as well, which is why I wrote the book on fear, because it stopped me in my entire life. And so I'm sitting here as this person who feared everything, doubted everything, screwed up all my life and did all of that, and then I end up with this masterpiece that can have other people live great lives and that would change our world. You have something like that as well. We all do. It just depends on if we're going to remember it. Well, I decided to remember it, and it was aligned with this day because it's September 26th. And then you'll see what happens on September 27th, and then on the 28th. Because the other thing that happened is that Wilhelm began showing me everything is organized energetically in our world, in our lives, and within our being. And you have a divine plan. That was the other message that they gave us that we don't listen to, but now it's been shown that it's all orchestrated, and I'll have that out for you as well. But I wanted you to have this today because I wanted you to see the information of what this work is, but also there's a time period on it because we have to change. We have to start accepting more. There's a shift going on of income and wealth. You've heard about that. It was a disparity and it's been unequal. It's because we keep perpetuating that, because we won't allow ourselves to become abundant, because we won't allow ourselves to feel our worth and value. And it's a process, and it's a generational one as well. But now I have the way for you to get there because Wilhelm gave it to us. And I can say that. Everyone's not going to believe it, but I wanted to give you enough proof so that you would know that you have everything within you, because that's what Wilhelm kept saying to me. I denied it, and I was writing it down the entire time, and then I healed through things that you can't even imagine. But now you'll be able to do more, because that's the other thing that happens. We're each supposed to do something different and unique, and then so other people have permission to do the same thing. But you could have been feeling oppressed recently, and for a while. But now is the time for us to change that. That's why you're here. You wouldn't be listening to me. You would have never come to this video unless it was time for you to live that best life. And now you have a way to do that. And that's why I wanted you to have this today. You deserve everything that life has to offer that is good, no matter what you have experienced in your life. And that I do know, because that was the information I received, and it's also the result I received from Wilhelm's work. Please check it all out and have a wonderful weekend. See you soon.